Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for tuning in for another video. I gained some new baits that I really gained a lot of confidence in this past season, and along with gaining more confidence in certain baits. And I just thought it'd be cool to kind of share with you guys my confidence baits, starting from the most confident to the least confident, but each bait I have confidence in. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. So first bait up that I want to talk to you guys about, any of my close friends know this by now, or those of you guys that have been on the channel for a while. My number one confidence bait is going to be a 7-inch MM3 Robo Worm. So the 7-inch MM3 in specific, Robo Worm. I've caught a ton of fish on this worm right here. My main confidence with this is to Senko rig it with the VMC moon weight, a little O-ring, and a VMC weedless hook. That's my extreme confidence. I feel like I can go anywhere in the country and catch them. I went up to Clear Lake, took 5th place on this worm. I've been all over Southern California catching fish on this worm. 7-inch MM3 is definitely gonna be my absolute number one confidence bait. I just feel like that 7-inch profile is a pretty good size profile, so I don't feel like I'm throwing too small of a bait, because I do like to throw a little bit of a bigger bait if I can get away with it. And I just haven't really had a reason to downsize or upsize or anything. I feel like 7 inches is a good size worm. And that color variation of the MM3 from Roboworm is a staple out here, especially where I live. My second confidence bait is going into like the reaction is a jackhammer. Now the ZMan Jackhammer has done a lot for me this year, especially when I went out to Alabama to the Challenge Series Championship. This is basically the only thing that I picked up, especially going into day 2. I caught so many fish on this thing. I've caught big fish out here in Southern California, and I just feel like I have a ton of confidence in it. The trailer I throw on the back of it is a Yamamoto Senko. I messed a little bit around with the Kitech, but that Yamamoto Senko is definitely something that I have a ton of confidence in. I feel like anytime I'm around grass, or anytime I know the fish are feeding on shad, I feel like that chatterbait is really, really tough to beat, especially when the water clarity is a little bit stained. I just feel like the vibration, the tight wiggle, and the ability to come through cover just makes it really tough to beat, and just gives me a ton of confidence when I go into any situation that calls for it. So the ZMan Jackhammer is definitely next on my list. Going into third on my list is going to be a Squarebill. Now the Squarebill that I have the most confidence in is this Biggie Papa River to Sea Squarebill, and then specifically this color. This color right here is a Horizon Shad, I believe. I've caught a ton of fish on this Squarebill right here. I feel like it has a good size profile. You can throw it in clear water, you can throw it in dirty water. It has that nice black and blue, but it still has that, you know, kind of shiny gold undertone where you can throw it almost in any water clarity. And with that knocker in there, it really gets the fish fired up. I throw this around cover, it comes through cover really nice, especially wood or right on the tops of grass. I've caught big fish on this, I've caught all sorts of sizes on this, and if I need a Squarebill to pick up, it's definitely gonna be this River to Sea Biggie Papa. Next I'm going to say is a jig. Now a jig, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't really have a ton of confidence going into last year with a jig. I didn't even really catch one fish on a jig prior to last season. And I know that might shock some of you guys, but I just never dedicated and never picked it up, because I used to fish out of a float tube, and throwing a worm was just something that I had a lot of confidence in. That's all I threw for the most part. But a bait that I have a lot of confidence in now is this Pitchin jig by Dirty Jigs, and especially in a couple different colors. This is like a green pumpkin color, but I also like the black and blue. And I just feel like when I'm pitching it in those sticks, man, and I put a nice big trailer on it, this is a Gary Yamamoto Cowboy, it really slows down the fall rate of the jig. And I caught a lot of good fish over at Pudding Stone on this jig. I caught a lot of good fish up at Clear Lake on this jig, and I just feel like a jig is definitely something that I'm extremely confident in now. When I'm throwing this thing, I know I'm gonna get bit. Next, I'm gonna continue with a jig, but a football jig. I specifically wanted to talk about a football jig because this is the bait, not this exact color, but a Dirty Jigs 3/4 ounce football jig is what I caught my PB on last year. And my PB is a 24 1/4 inch, 7 pounds, 11 ounces, I believe. And man, it was an insane bite. I caught it on a 3/4 ounce jig with a Reaction Innovations Sweet Beaver on the back. I was in 35 feet of water out at Lake Paris on some rock piles, and I caught the biggest fish of my life. So definitely have confidence on a football jig, just slow creeping it on bottom. And man, you can get big bites on a football jig, and it is definitely one of my confidence baits going into this season for sure. Next, I'm gonna have to talk about this rig. This is specifically the G-Funk bait. This is the G rig, and my boy Jason over there is an awesome dude. If you guys throw the A rig, make sure you guys go check out G-Funk. Incredible company, incredible people. But man, this Cali rig right here, you guys, is the deal. The one thing that I love about the Cali rig, and you guys saw me catch a ton of fish on the A rig out at Paris, all over the place. I was catching them on an A rig, and I feel like the G rig, it's a little bit expensive, but it comes with everything that you need. All you literally need to do is screw on your dummy baits, because it already comes with screw locks. You don't have to do anything to it. It already comes with the hardware down below, really nice, I believe owner hardware. And what I throw on my A-rig is 2 1/8 ounce Dirty Jigs swim bait heads, the Matt Allen swim bait heads. So I have an 1/8 ounce, an 1/8 ounce, and a 1/4 ounce. I don't know really why, but that's just how I throw it. I feel like the 1/8 ounce and the 1/8 ounce on each side really levels it out, and that 1/4 ounce just keeps it a little bit down. So that way they, you know, I want them biting this back one, but they bite all 3 of them, but this back one really gets bit the most. And I just throw 2.8. Sometimes I up the size of a Kitech, but I just throw a Kitech. Electric shad, Tennessee shad are my main confidence baits on this rig. And this rig just gets bit. If you guys are in a different state, make sure you guys check out all your regulations to see how many hooks you can throw. Out here we're able to get away with 3 hooks on a rig, and that thing is so fun to throw. It's so funny because like when I'm throwing it, and some guys don't really know what it is, they're like, what the heck is that? And I'm just like, dude, it's like a school of fish. It's awesome. So can't really beat that, man. It's a fun way to catch them. I'm gonna say my next one is definitely going to be the popper. And this is the River to Sea Pop Max. And I believe this one's a threadfin shad color. And man, this thing at Otai and at Pudding Stone and all over the place. I don't know what it is about this Megabass popper, but it flat out gets bit. I've caught a lot of fish on this thing. It really pops nice. It also walks really nice. I'll go ahead and give you guys a little close up on this. And I'm gonna link everything down in the description below as well. But man, this Megabass popper, I've had a lot of success and a lot of fun days out there. It really doesn't get better than seeing a bass blow up on top water, whether it's a popper or whatever else top water you're fishing with. I mean, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you agree with that one. I mean, catching them on a top water is definitely fun to do. Going into top water a little bit, my confidence frog. If you guys don't throw a frog, man, you gotta pick up a frog. My main confidence frog is going to be the River to Sea Bullywah. The Bullywah, I just feel like it has a really good profile. It's a little bit of a bigger frog than most frogs. It comes with some really good hooks. And this is just the confidence frog that I throw. Everyone has their own confidence in a frog. I get bit also on the KVD Sexy Frog, but for some reason up at Clear Lake or whether I'm down in SoCal, this is the frog that I'm going to pick up no matter what and throw this thing until it gets bit, because it gets bit. And having confidence in your baits is very key. So the River to Sea Bullywah is definitely a must. If you guys haven't thrown it, make sure you guys go check out the River to Sea Bullywah. Next up on my confidence list is going to be this creature bait right here. This creature bait right here is called the KVD Game Hawg. Now, I used to throw creature baits like 4 or 5 years ago, and I just got throwing them again this year, and man, I caught some big ones on a creature bait this year. Just a Texas rig. I like to go no peg on my Texas rigs, because I feel like when you throw it out there and you're just kind of slowly maneuvering it through the brush, I feel like the weight falls through, and then the brush hog kind of stays behind the weight, and it slow falls down, and I feel like that's when it gets bit the most. If you have the weight connected to the creature bait, it kind of ruins the action. It's more of like a reaction bait at that point. But I feel like when you're kind of lifting it up, working it through brush or working it through grass, I feel like the weight kind of gets up and falls down, and then the brush hog then like slowly falls behind it. It's almost like a mini Carolina rig in a way. But man, this Game Hog right here, you guys, gets bit. And this is my confidence creature bait. Anytime they're on creature baits or anytime I want to throw creature bait, this is all I throw. I've tried a few other ones, but the Game Hawg definitely gets bit for me. So last but not least, it's definitely gonna be a Senko. Senko wacky rig, Senko Nico rigged, any type of color Senko, but this is a green pumpkin right here. But man, I've caught them on black and blue. But a Gary Yamamoto Senko is tough to beat anywhere in the country. I mean, you gotta throw a Senko. So anyways guys, I just thought it'd be fun to maybe share with you guys my confidence baits, especially some new confidence baits that I got going into this season. I can't wait to show you guys maybe some more baits that I gained confidence in after this season. If you guys have any baits that I didn't throw, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'd love to check those baits out, or maybe share your confidence baits, like 2 or 3 of them down below. I think that'd be really fun for some engagement. But anyways guys, I really appreciate your guys' support. The next video you'll probably see is my practice video going into Lake Hodges for the ABA kayak series out here in SoCal. The tournament's already sold out. We're at 50 anglers. We're at a 50 angler cap this year, and it's so awesome to see all the excitement around there. My boy Bryce Gibbs is coming out from Arizona. Shout out to you, Bryce. Can't wait to compete against you, man. It's gonna be a good time. Lake Hodges is going to put out some giants. It always does, it always will. That place has big ones. Hopefully we can get on one of those big ones. As always, keep your thumbs ripped, and I'll see you on the next one.